Hi everyone, and welcome to the first video in our new series, How to League. How to League will be about teaching and tutorials on different topics to help people refine and master their different elements of the game. In this video, we will cover last hitting and its importance in League of Legends. Last hitting is an extremely crucial skill to have in your arsenal when playing. It supplies you with all the gold you need to buy expensive items and win games. So, what is last hitting? Well, when a minion dies, a gold bounty is given to the person who performed the final kill shot. If a minion is slain by another minion, though, then the bounty is given to nobody. So last hitting is the act of getting all the gold bounties on as many minions as possible by getting all the kill shots on them. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, it is a simple concept, but it takes time and practice to become very good at it. So here's some stats real quick about how the minions work. Okay, so once the game has begun, minions will spawn exactly 1 minute and 30 seconds into the game. After they've spawned, it will take them exactly 23 seconds for them to reach the center of mid lane, okay? So at 1 minute and 53 seconds, they'll be exactly the center of middle lane. And at 33 seconds after they spawn, so 2 minutes and 3 seconds, they will be at the very center of top and bottom lane. Minions evolve over time, so about every 3 minutes or so, and they'll gain defense, damage, and they'll give you more gold when you kill them. And last little tip is every 3 waves, a siege minion will spawn. It's a cannon minion. 35 minutes into the game, at the 35-minute mark, the frequency increases, and it will spawn every other wave. And this will add to the total number of minions you can have killed at any time, or at maximum. Okay, so now you know what last hitting is and some stats about the minions. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some statistics and give you a goal to aim for when you want to practice last hitting. I very much recommend that you practice last hitting. It really helped me out, even though I've been playing for a little while. I went into a custom game, made just me, no bots, and I just killed the minions. That's all I did, and it really showed me my kind of skill level where I'm at in last hitting. So I very much recommend you do that. You practice, even if you're very experienced. If you're a brand new player, go into a custom game just by yourself and just practice last hitting every now and then. It does get kind of boring if you just sit there and do it game after game. So, I mean, every once in a while, it's a very nice thing to do. Okay, so at exactly 5 minutes into the game, at the 5-minute mark, a perfect last hitter would have 44 minion kills, okay? At 10 minutes into the game, they would have 107. 15 minutes into the game, they would have 171. And 20 minutes into the game, they would have 234 minions slain. I'll put that in the description so you can kind of see that for yourself. And then you can use that as kind of a bar to aim for, so that when you're practicing, you can see how you compare to a perfect score. Now, you'll very rarely, if ever, see a professional player hit these numbers, and that's because it's a very difficult challenge. But it is a very, very useful number to know so that you can get as close to it as possible. Another thing you can do is you can watch some streams, look at professional players, see how they measure up to these numbers, and then see how you can measure up to them. Some champions are better at last hitting than others. For example, Ezreal or Nidalee are very good at last hitting. Their attacks are very fast, while on the other hand, champions like Anivia or Karthus have much slower and not as responsive auto attacks, and it's a lot harder to last hit with them. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit now about lane control when you're last hitting. Okay, so what is lane control? Lane control is being able to control where the minions will be in the lane. Okay, you can choose to have them pushed up under the enemy tower, back under the safety of your tower, or directly in the center of the lane. Now, each choice has its benefits and consequences, which we'll discuss. So, when the enemy minions die before your minions die, your minions will keep walking down the lane until something stops them. For example, a tower. So, if you keep hitting minions, as shown here, and make sure the enemy minions die first, then you will be pushing the lane underneath the enemy tower. The benefits of this are that you're getting all the last hits on the minions that you want, and you're making the enemy player compete with the tower for getting minion kills, which puts you at an advantage. Now, the really big consequence of this strategy is that you'll be more prone to being ganked by the enemy team's jungler. And you'll have to run a lot longer distance to get back to the safety of your tower. Okay, so it's a very big negative. I wouldn't recommend pushing unless you know the enemy jungler is somewhere else, or you know where they are and they're not near you. But if you don't, then that's a very, very high risk strategy. Okay, so your second choice is allowing your minions to die first. Whether it be you just do not hit the enemy minions, or if the enemy player is attacking your minions very quickly, then you will be pushed under your tower. Now, the benefits and consequences are exactly the same, but kind of flipped around. Now you have to compete with the tower for minions. And it can be a challenge sometimes. But there is a technique to killing minions while under the tower, which I'll share with you right now. Okay, so the front lines of minions, or tank minions as I like to call them, are able to take two tower shots while surviving. And this will leave them with a tiny amount of health left for you to hit them once and get the gold for it. Okay, that's nice and easy. Tower hits the tank minion 2 times, you hit it once, bam, got the gold. Now the back line of minions is a little bit more complicated. They can only take 1 tower shot while surviving. But it won't leave them at as low HP as the tank minions. So you won't be able to just one hit the minion after the tower is hit. It'll still keep it alive. So what you have to do is hit the caster minion once, then the tower needs to hit it, and then you hit it again, and then you'll get the gold for it. The caster minions are a little more complicated. It takes a lot more practice to get those down. But the tank minions are very, very simple, and if you just focus on the tank minions, you'll immediately have 3 out of the 6 minion kills every time. So make sure you practice that. It's a very important very important technique to know.
One thing to keep in mind, though, is that not all champions have this privilege. Some mage champions have very weak auto attacks and won't be able to complete this technique effectively. Most mage champions do have spells that they can use for farming, though.
Alright, so as you can see, staying under the safety of the tower is all fine and dandy, but the minions are a lot more difficult to kill. So the final strategy you can use when laning and last hitting is not repetitively hitting the minions, but not hitting the minions, but only last hitting the minions. Okay? So you're not hitting them too many times, you're not hitting them too little times, you're hitting them right in the middle, the perfect amount. Every time a minion gets low, you shoot it once or you hit it once, it's done. You don't hit any other time than that. Now, most of the time, this will keep the minions right in the middle, right where you want them. If the enemy player is pushing you, then that's something you're going to have to deal with. But for your control over the lane, those are the 3 options that you can do. And it's a lot more. It's very beneficial to know the techniques you have at your disposal, your strategies that you have. Alright, well, this has been my video on last hitting. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please write a comment. You can message me on my Facebook page. Yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot from it, and keep on playing, guys. Peace out.